from the Byrne Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Sports Channel presents Metro Atlantic Basketball. Tonight, the Iona Gaels take on the Holy Cross Crusaders. Hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Landers, and welcome to the first of 13 telecasts featuring MAC basketball here on Sports Channel. The league has expanded this year from 8 teams to 12, and of course, one of the favorites to win it all again is LaSalle. But one of the surprises so far has been the Holy Cross Crusaders. Working with me tonight is veteran basketball coach in the past from Columbia University and veteran analyst Jack Rowan. But how about these Crusaders? 8-2, their best start in 12-13 years.
It's exciting for them, and of course, they didn't make the preseason predictions. They've come together as a unit. They've matured, and of course, they've got the great outside shooting. At the present time, they're third in the nation in three-point field goal percentage, and if they can keep the game on the perimeter, they are successful.
Jack, they're the ball club that is averaging close to 90 points a game. They like a fast tempo. They're great outside shooters, as you say. And of course, they've got an outstanding player by the name of Dwight Purnell.
Purnell, if you look at this young man, it's hard to believe that when he went to the Cross, he was 135 pounds and did not have an outside shot. George Flaney is thrilled with the way he has progressed. He's one of the fine guards in the country. He can shoot, and he also can pass.
Well, he's shooting 61% from three-point range, averaging over 22 points a game. And this year has moved to the point guard spot where he's averaging over 6 assists a game. Turning to the Iona Gaels, they're a ball club that struggled early, especially putting points on the board. They're averaging less than 60, but of late they're playing better. They had a great second half against Gonzaga in a recent win.
Right, Barry, and the key phrase that you use is second half, or half. They've had very few games when they've been able to perform well for two halves. If they can put together two good halves, then they're an outstanding team.
They've been blessed with the addition of Joey Johnson, who was academically ineligible the first part of the season. He's had 20 points in the last couple of ball games. And, of course, this is a ball club that is going to have to play good defense against a very tough team.
Yes, and, of course, they've got Sean Green as their weapon. And Green is the type of man who's going to take a lot of shots. He also is expected to take them. He's not a chucker. And if he has a good night, he makes Iona just that much more potent.
Sean Green had 30 points earlier against Seton Hall. He is a guy that can fill it up when he's hot. So that's the story. Jack and I'll be back with the first half action. You're watching college basketball on Sports Channel. New Jersey, Barry Landers along with Jack Rowan. Right now, let's get the starting lineups and throw it over to public address announcer Dom Alasia.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Meadowlands Arena and tonight's college basketball doubleheader. In the first game, a Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference North game, it's the Crusaders of Holy Cross and the Gaels of Iona. Here are the starting lineups. For Holy Cross, starting at forward, a 6'5" sophomore from Baltimore, Maryland, number 40, Leon Dickerson. Also at forward, a 6'7" freshman from Hingham, Massachusetts, number 42, Frank Powell. At center, 6'10" junior from Fairview Park, Ohio, number 33, Jim Narrett. At guard, 6'1" senior from Chesapeake, Virginia, number 10, Dwight Purnell. Also at guard, a 6'4" senior from Jacksonville, Florida, number 21, Lauren Davis. Head coach of the Crusaders is George Flaney.
One, two, three, defense.
Now here are the starters for the Gaels of Iona. At forward, a 6'5" junior from Long Island City, number 23, Sean Green. Also at forward, a 6'6" junior from the Bronx, New York, number 34, Jonathan Duck. At center, 6'10" sophomore from Yonkers, New York, number 44, Kevin Cooper. At guard, 6'6" junior from Elizabeth, New Jersey, number 21, Joey Johnson. Also at guard, 6'3" junior from Linden, New Jersey, number 32, Sean Worthy. Head coach is Gary Brokaw.
Let's go, let's go.
Michaels, Jim Howell, Joe Mingle, Gene Monge.
So there you have it, the starting lineups for both clubs. There is Gary Brokaw, the blue blazer. And Gary should have his hands full trying to defend these Holy Cross Crusaders. And one key matchup, I guess, we'll be watching tonight is Sean Worthy, if they play man-to-man. And there you see Sean Worthy in the starting lineup, matched up against Dwight Purnell.
That's the key. And then, of course, there's the overall team key, and that is Iona has to try to get Holy Cross to get out of their game. The game, of course, being quick, run, get a lot of points. And if Iona can slow it down, it'll be their advantage. However, if Iona gets into that running game, they do have physical power, and if they put together one of their good halves, you've got a good chance.
Frank Powell starting for Holy Cross instead of Earl Whedon, who has been their starting physical inside player, who turned an ankle. Powell, a freshman, played well in the last game against Dartmouth. Nair's 33, jumping against Cooper, 44, and Holy Cross has it. Purnell is number 10. He'll work in the backcourt with 21, Lauren Davis. Both are excellent outside shooters, and Purnell doesn't waste much time off a nice feed from Jim Nair.
Excellent team play, and you can see that the Holy Cross players were prepared and went right to something they can do well.
Purnell averaging over 22 points a game. Tied with this man, Sean Green, who has been pretty much the entire offense for Iona this year. Green is at play the forward spot. Cooper out high. Holy Cross starting out in man-to-man defense. That's Joey Johnson, who took over the point guard spot at 20 points against 10 and 17 in the win over Gonzaga the other day. Iona's won 2 in a row. Sean Worthy backed out to Joey Johnson. Got to go inside, tapped away nicely by Lauren Davis. Purnell with a nice pass. Davis flooded away by Sean Green.
The difference in the two teams physically, of course, is the fact that Iona is so much stronger, and if they can get inside, they're going to try to take advantage of the thin Holy Cross players. You're going to see an example of this explosive right now, the quick recovery and the good hustle.
Back to the live action. Leon Dickerson missing. Iona pushing it up court. And going and missing Jonathan Duck. Green with a follow. A block. And the rebound pulled down by Leon Dickerson. Iona's been plagued by turnovers earlier in the year, and also some poor shot selection. Davis, who averages over 50% from three-point range. He's 21. Inside, they'll swing it. Dickerson gets Holy Cross a 4-0 lead.
You immediately see that Holy Cross right away.
Their defense has been constant all year, and their offense has improved. It's surprising to hear that comment from a coach whose team averages 89 points a game. Cooper missing. They want him to be more aggressive and get more shots from those inside spots.
Cooper, for 2 years now, has looked like a great prospect. He just hasn't realized it.
Good, strong move along the baseline by Frank Powell, the freshman from Hingham Man. And Holy Cross off to an early 6-0 lead here. And very quickly, Gary Brokaw will call a timeout here. So we've got timeout on the floor with Holy Cross leading 6-0. We'll be right back. Barry Landers and Jack Rowe. Holy Cross 3 for 5 in the early going here, and Iona 0 for 3. Joey Johnson will work against the tough defense of Lauren Davis. Johnson not really a point guard, in trouble over there along the sideline, and he stepped out of bounds. Good trap over there.
Once again, an example of a team that's really in gear mentally. The Cross knows that as soon as they get somebody to dribble to the sideline and the opportunity presents itself, they're going to jump out and double team.
Naris playing with that heavily bandaged right leg. Wears a brace on it. Underwent arthroscopic surgery last year. Purnell slicing nicely in the lane, and Holy Cross leads 8-0.
Got an explosive first step.
4 points for Purnell, who had 41 points last year. His career high against this club. Sean Green pulling up. He's boxed out by Naris, and it's been all Holy Cross in the early going here. Down court hanging was Leon Dickerson. And Jonathan Duck with the rebound. Sean Green is like the girl with the curl. When he's hot, he's very, very hot. When he's ice cold, he'll put up bricks.
If Holy Cross continues to go with this smooth style and Iona gets disrupted, it becomes psychological.
Green is now 0 for 3 from the field. Powell, the freshman, with the rebound. Now the Crusaders looking to go up 10-0 here. Worthy commits the foul on the quicker Dwight Purnell.
All right, now Purnell shows a couple of things. One, he shows an explosive first step when he's got no dribbles. Here, off the dribble, he shows it again. So that makes him tremendously difficult to guard. Some players, as you know, can come off that first step, but others, don't have both.
Rick Mashburn replaces Frank Powell. Mashburn, a 6'7", 200-pound freshman from Grand Bank, Michigan, averaging 3 points a game. Doesn't take long for him to get a shot off. Sean Green looking for Iona's first points. They trail 8-0 here. Kevin Cooper, the sophomore. Green goes up, and there's contact made with Leon Dickerson. It'll be a non-shooting foul. First foul on the Crusaders. Dickerson, a 6'5" sophomore. There's George Blaney. You know this man well, don't you?
I've known George for a long time. He's a very fine person, in addition to being an outstanding basketball coach.
In trouble there with Cooper. Boy, what quick hands by Holy Cross. Nice play that time by Mashburn. Pulling up and missing from the outside was Lauren Davis. Sean Worthy looking for the opportunity basket. That's what he does best, Sean Worthy.
He likes the open field, and also when you're having problems, you don't go to the three-point shot. You try to get the ball in and make some sure baskets, and that's the way to go.
Took Iona 4 minutes and 10 seconds to get their first basket. And they trail 8-2. Harris way short. Nice play by the freshman Mashburn.
Strong positioning, and he just got the offensive rebound. Not so much on his ability to jump, but he was in the right spot.
Sean Green with a beautiful reverse layup. And he has his first 2 points, averaging 22.4, tied with Dwight Purnell, right behind Lionel Simmons for the max scoring lead. Mashburn, nice pass. Could not be handled by Davis. Up court, here's Worthy. Mashburn commits the foul as Worthy and our cameraman collide. And we hope both those guys are all right. What a collision. And our cameraman might demand combat pay after this.
He took the charge.
Took it on the numbers. Oh, I hope the camera's all right.
You're a beautiful man.
Let's take another look at this one.
All right, here you go. All right, there is the foul from behind. Worthy took it to the basket again.
And took it to the camera.
That's it. That's right.
Ron Davis is our cameraman who took it on the numbers there. And that really hurt things.
That's it. Fortunately, we're able to report that this will not in the future be the Ron Davis Memorial game.
Sean Worthy will get a couple of free throws. Ron is going to be relieved right here. Take a break. He's really out of it. Got to unhook himself over there. So Sean Worthy goes to the line. He'll remember Sean Worthy, I think, Ron Davis, for a while. And that rolls off. He'll get another one. Sean, not a good free throw shooter, 55% from the line. Iona does not shoot well from the free throw line as a ball club. Only 65%. Averaging 5.5 points a game, and he's got his third point of the night. And it's a 10-4 lead. Iona's made a substitution. Purnell slipping away. Well, it doesn't take long for him to get down the floor.
No, it doesn't. But the key there, Barry, is that they were looking for him.
6 points for Purnell. High game this year, 32 against Georgia State. Gerald McLeese double zero in the game now for Iona. Worthy had it knocked out of his hands. I'll tell you, they're very high on Ricky Mashburn, that freshman number 34 who we've seen come in a couple of moments ago. They say he has unlimited potential. Has a chance to be a great player.
Yes, and he also has an ideal situation. He's got the chance to break in with an experienced and knowledgeable club.
Sean Green for three. Cooper going back up, then he gets the roll. The one thing that Holy Cross does not have is a strong physical presence.
No, they don't have bulk, and it's going to hurt them.
Now they're working in the backcourt.
Now, Iona looks like they've switched the zone.
Aaron Jordan, number 24 in the ball game, at the point guard spot. He's a 6'2 junior. Holy Cross will play a lot of people. Iona will not. Mashburn. Out of bounds and travels. The official underneath, Jim Howe making the call. Joe Mingle and Gene Manji are the other officials. So McLeese will put it in. With Iona trailing 12-7. They trailed early, 8-0. They trail only by 5 right now.
The lens cap is fucked up.
Harris guarding Cooper tightly. Johnson, who's a good outside shooter, goes inside to Cooper. And Cooper, who started to get his offense going in the last game against Gonzaga, picks up 2 more.
He's also getting the basketball. There have been several games where he hasn't been a factor, but he didn't get the ball very often.
Cooper averaging only 4.5 points a game. Thrown away. So suddenly the tide has turned here after Holy Cross looked like they were ready to blow out Iona.
As soon as Iona established their own tempo, they began to operate more effectively. In the beginning, they were just reacting to what Holy Cross was doing instead of playing their own game.
Gaels down by 3. Joey Johnson in that trap over there. Mashburn, good play. Neris stolen away by Cooper. Sean Green makes sure. 4 points for Green. And what was an 8-point lead is down to 1 with 13:05 to go in this first half. Nice pass inside from Mashburn. And we got a whistle and a foul called underneath as Leon Dickerson was fouled by Kevin Cooper.
Holy Cross immediately recognized that Iona has switched to a zone and went right into their zone offense. What they do is they go high post and then look to sneak another man in low post as they draw the defense towards the basketball, and that time it worked.
A couple of changes made, and checking into the ball game, number 44, Scott Martzlaff, 7 foot, 230-pound sophomore, averaging 4.5 points and 5 rebounds in just 15 minutes a game. Another guy they're very high on, as Dickerson will get another one here. And about ready to come back in will be Frank Powell in a moment. Here's a Iona substitution. Freshman coming in is Danny Doyle, number 25. And sitting down will be Sean Worthy. So Dickerson, who shoots 61% from the line, hits 2, and there's Powell back in the game. And Martzlaff and Powell have checked in. Sean Green against the trap. Joey Johnson. Nice to have a 6'6" point guard against those traps, isn't it, Jack?
It is, because he can see over them.
Danny Doyle, freshman from Long Island Lutheran High School, played for Bob McKillop. They had some great high school players over the years. Some of them gone on to star St. John's, including Bill Wennington, Wayne McCoy. Johnson inside to McLeese. There was contact, batted away by the 7-footer Martzlaff.
You can see what Iona is trying to do. They're trying to take advantage of their bulk and work the ball close to the basket as much as possible. In this case, the shot was started before he looked and picked up where the defense was, and that's why it was so easily blocked.
Martzlaff with 9 blocks. Johnson for 3. Bullseye! And Joey Johnson, who hit a couple of three-pointers the other night, hits one here to tie the game at 14. Remember, Holy Cross got off to an early 8-0 lead.
That's right, and 8-0 sounds like a great deal, but it isn't, especially when there's so much time.
Aaron Jordan, junior point guard. Open for now. Batted up, though. What a lucky bounce that was.
That's an example of the adage, though. If you don't try, nothing can happen. He just gave a swat at that ball, and it worked.
Mashburn now with 4 points. And we got a push. And it's against Iona. We've got a break in the action. We'll be right back. Holy Cross leads by 2. Back at courtside at Byrne Meadowlands Arena. Holy Cross by 2 with 11:38 to go here in the first half. And Gaels have come back, and I know that their coach, Gary Brokaw, who's in the middle of that huddle right there, is very pleased with this comeback. Gary in his 4th year, 5 games under 500, but trying to get this team on track.
And he's in a difficult situation right now simply because there are people who feel that the talent that he has should be playing better, and yet those people are not in practice every day. So you really don't know the personality of the individuals involved, and I'm sure that Gary's working as hard as he can.
Both teams shooting about the same right now. Iona 6 for 13, 46%. Holy Cross 7 for 14, 50%. Nice passing inside. Mashburn missing. And Doyle with the rebound. Iona, a club that has never led in this game, with a chance to take the lead here with a three-pointer. And Green will launch it. Got it around, and Aaron Jordan comes up with it for the Crusaders. Foul travels. Gary Brokaw likes the call. Holy Cross will make a substitution here. Leon Dickerson will check back in the ballgame, number 40.
Next time up the court, just check. You'll see that Iona is playing that zone way out high because of the perimeter shooting, and yet they feel strong enough underneath to deny the inside basket.
Joey Johnson over to Jonathan Duck. Illegal block inside, and it's against Iona. There's George Blaney in his 18th year at Holy Cross. A record of 268 and 228. Coached at Dartmouth and Stonehill before he moved on. He was a great player in the early 60s, late 50s at Holy Cross.
George is a great player. He also played a couple of years with the Knicks.
Holy Cross by 2. 10:42 to go. Dickerson. McLeish with the rebound. Iona with a chance to tie it here. Holy Cross shooting has cooled off considerably. And Johnson throws it away.
Well, one of the things that's happening right now, and Holy Cross will have to adjust to it, is that the high zone is taking away the outside game, which they rely on so much. It's giving them some inside plays, but are they used to getting plays in there, and are they capable of taking advantage? They've gotten some easy shots.
Jim Naris back in the ball game, number 33. And by the way, you'll be hearing from Jim at halftime. And you almost heard from him there. Leon Dickerson throws it up. Boy, what battle underneath the boards. Watch Sean Green in the open court. He's got NBA moves. And the ball will stay in the hands of the Gaels.
That was a super move, except for one thing. He didn't put the ball in the basket. And I think that's just a matter of concentration.
Danny Doyle will sit down very quickly. He was in for just about a minute. Sean Worthy is back in, having trouble getting it in to Joey Johnson. Tough defense by Lauren Davis there. Reached the halfway mark in this first half. Holy Cross leading by 2. The defense by Holy Cross, very active. Knocked away nicely by Lauren Davis as he overplayed. Back up court, Worthy, McLeish, and the game is tied at 16. First 2 points for McLeish, 6'7", junior from New Haven, Connecticut. And the game doesn't stay tied very long as Scott Martzloff puts in his first 2. Joey Johnson going up. McLeish, strong rebound, but look at the quick hand of Dwight Purnell. Purnell leads the club in steals with 20. Almost has it stolen there. Dickerson. And the Crusaders back up to a 4-point lead. 6 points for Leon Dickerson, a sophomore out of Baltimore, who averages almost 12 a game.
Very quick release on his jump shot.
He's a real quick jumper, runs the court well. Johnson hitting the deck hard, but the foul before the shot.
Now, we've spoken in the pregame spot about the inconsistency of Iona. One good half. They actually have inconsistency right within a half. They'll come up, start to move around, get the good play, score. Next time up, shoot, and then the one-on-one, one-on-one, one-on-one.
Joey Johnson will sit down, and in the ballgame for the first time, number 22, Jeremy Green, a 5'11" freshman point guard from Santa Cruz, California. His dad, Dennis Green, football coach at Stanford and former football coach at Northwestern. That's he with the ball. Sean Green and Naris with the rebound. Naris, one of their leading rebounders. Oh, look at Purnell knife his way through, but it wouldn't drop. Quickly, Worthy on the break. Duck trying to hunt it down. Lauren Davis. Oh, good block by Worthy. Naris looked like he might have traveled. Didn't get the call. Holy Cross back to a 6-point lead. Gary Brokaw thought he traveled. He was making all the moves on the bench. Sean Green pulling up. And Green will commit the foul, knocking it away from Nairn.
Green has made several outstanding moves without completing the play. That's very frustrating for the coach.
We've got time out of the floor with Holy Cross leading by 6. You're watching college basketball on Sports Channel. We're back. Barry Landers, Jack Rohn, and look at that. Holy Cross 3-point trio, Jack. And, boy, can they fill it up from outside.
They can, but tonight, 0 for 4. And I think the reason for it is that right now, Iona with that zone, with the taller players out front, it's made it a little bit more difficult for Cross to shoot over them.
Holy Cross shooting only 43% now, 10 for 23. Iona shooting worse, 7 for 18, 39%. Warren Davis with a miss. Quickly up court, Worthy colliding with Aaron Jordan. A couple of strong young men right there. Worthy at 6'3", 190. Looks like he could play a little pro football as a defensive back.
And I think the thing that teams that play Iona are going to have to realize, and that is that Worthy gets an outlet pass and the court is open. He's probably going to try to go all the way to the basket.
It's a blocking foul on Jordan. It's the 4th on the team. Iona has 5 team fouls, so neither club in foul trouble here. John Savage, number 41 in the ballgame for the first time for Iona. He has not played much recently. Placing Cooper right now. Worthy fires a bad pass underneath, looking for Sean Green. Tried to bullet it underneath.
Green had made a very good move without the basketball, and it was free and would have had a layup if the pass had been on target.
So Iona commits turnover number 8. We mentioned that they have been turnover prone this year. Now actually number 11 as we see the follow. Battle inside. Nairn, not known as a strong rebounder, but he's a wiry 6'10" kid. And Jack went up pretty good for that one.
He's 6'10", but he's not strong, and with that bad knee, he's not a great jumper. So when he gets the ball down in close, I don't think he expects to do particularly well. And in the case he gets the ball right here, you can see it. He's got it, but he feels that there are a lot of big, strong people around him. He tries to go up, but he doesn't have the strength to go through them.
6th team foul on Iona. There's Dwight Purnell back in the ball game. Purnell with 6 points. He and Dickerson are leading the scoring here in a well-balanced club. Nairn with another free throw. Nairn now with 3 points. Jim averaging close to 12 a game. Now Joey Johnson replaces Jeremy Green for Iona.
Nairn adds a tremendous dimension to Holy Cross in the fact that he is so tall and can shoot from the outside, because he'll draw people out and open it underneath for someone else.
He's got very good court awareness, too. Not only can he shoot
passer, right, and he's smart.
So Holy Cross has built up an 8-point lead. Remember, this game was tied at 16 apiece, so they've run off 8 in a row. Joey Johnson against the trap over to Sean Worthy. Frank Howe back in the game, number 42, Duck. And that's a game, part of the game that Iona needs. They need points from Jonathan Duck. They need about 12 a game from him.
They broke the press that time and then were able to get a soft shot.
Off the hand of Leon Dickerson, out of bounds. So turnover for Holy Cross. Duck had 15 points in his last game as George Blaney signals the defense he wants. Shot 7 for 11 against Gonzaga. 6:28 to go here in the first half. Iona trailing. Worthy. Again, not a good pass. John Savage and Worthy having a couple of words about that one, as Kevin Cooper will report back in for Iona.
If you have poor chemistry, as they use the expression all the time, on the floor, it's going to affect your game. Iona is a team that is in transition right now, trying to find themselves to become the type of club they could be.
Of course, last year they had 3 seniors that were outstanding: Chip Langdon, Nestor Payne, and Glenn Grant. Haven't replaced that leadership. Sean Worthy knocked out of his hand. Nice play by Purnell. And as he goes up against Jonathan Duck, foul is called against the Gaels. They're over the limit.
You know, Purnell, when he gets that dribble, of course, with the quick hands, he gets the feel, but when he's got that dribble, he's about as fast running with the dribble as you're going to find most people who are out flat out sprinting.
Foul from behind against Joey Johnson, his first. They're over the limit, and Purnell will go to the line. This guy shoots 90.5 from the line, 67 for 74, and had a string of 27 in a row stopped last week.
That's smart. And not only is he talented, but, you know, this is the time in the game when nobody's guarding you. So take those foul shots and practice them so you can make them.
Nothing but net on that one. Purnell out of Chesapeake, Virginia, 9th on the all-time scoring list at Holy Cross. Great work ethic. Talked to Coach Blaney about Dwight Purnell and Lauren Davis, and all he can do is rave about those two kids who've been with him for those 4 years.
That's great. It really is. It makes going to practice every day a great pleasure for the coach.
5:55 to go. The lead is 8. Iona has never led in this game. Twice they came back to tie it after trailing 3 times by 8 points. Knocked away nicely by Purnell from behind. Worthy was stripped. And having trouble with it was Joey Johnson. Duck will go for 3 as he was fouled, and he'll get the bonus free throw here.
One of the problems that Holy Cross does have on occasion is that when they get running on that fast break, they don't have too many people back, and then if it turns over like you see right here, they don't have anyone back except maybe one man. Right here, they just take it to the ball and overpower the defense.
Jonathan Duck, who has that Adrian Dantley kind of frame there. He's a big, strong young man. Shooting 60% from the line, averaging 9 points a game. Cooper stripped to the ball by Dickerson. And look at that scramble of bodies. On the alternate possession will be Iona ball. But the Gaels are scrapping for this game, something that Gary Brokaw's got to be pleased with. They're showing a lot more intensity tonight than they had maybe earlier in the year.
It's important. The dream of every one of these teams as this league season starts is to get that NC2A bid.
Holy Cross has won its first league game. That came against a good Fordham club. Nice move by Duck, partially blocked by Naris. Batted around. And the athleticism of Iona keeping them in the game right here. Worthy trying to go up for it. Naris. Billy Walker, number 32, pushing it up behind the back. And the freshman missing inside with Frank Powell. I don't know if George Blaney wanted to see all that on that fast break, Coach.
No, I don't think he would, but the way it came out, there was an easy shot available. I think Powell was just surprised.
Billy Walker, another freshman. There are 6 freshmen on this Holy Cross team. Just about everyone has been getting playing time. Nice follow by Cooper. Cooper with 6 points. That's above his average. Had 8 points against Gonzaga. And the Holy Cross lead, which had been 8 a short time ago, is 4. 4:27 to go in the first half. Freshman Billy Walker for 3. Out of Portage, Michigan. They feel he could start for a lot of clubs. Not enough playing time here, but he's getting some tonight. Joey Johnson. Duck knocked away. What a play by Leon Dickerson. He's got Purnell with him.
Great play. He was smart, too, on that 2-on-1. He kept the ball until the defense stopped him. The defense didn't stop him, so he makes the play.
8 points for Dickerson. He and Purnell are the leading scorers. Sean Green using the glass. And that cuts the Holy Cross lead to 7 with 3:43 to go. Green with 6 points. Remember, he's averaging over 22 a game. At a high of 30 against Seton Hall. Dickerson blocked by the taller Kevin Cooper. Joey Johnson pulling up. Cooper aggressive but could not control it. And with 3:20 to go in the half, Crusaders on top by 7. Naris.
Good shooter.
He sure is. Jim Naris shooting 48% from the field. 6 points. He's averaging almost 12 a game. Looks like practice here, Coach, with all those subs getting ready to come in. We've got 3 for each team. Going to be a little 3-on-3 basketball.
That's right. That's right.
We've got a time out of the floor. 2:58 to go. Holy Cross leading at 33-24.
I mentioned before that Jim Naris is not as confident as he could be when he's close to the basket. But right out here, he knows he is a good shooter. When you feel it, you're much more successful.
Naris also has picked up 7 rebounds. He'll get a little rest, and you'll hear an interview Jack did with that young man, one of the academic All-American candidates, a little bit later. Both teams have made changes. We'll pick them up for you as we go here. That's Purnell, knocked away, and Iona hustling after the ball. Jeremy Green over to another freshman, Doyle, who misses but was fouled by yet another freshman, Frank Powell.
And Gary Brokaw's strategy right now is he's got a team in there that's trying to double team and press, and it's a blitz type of affair, and I think he feels that something defensively is going to have to motivate his team so that they score some points as a result of the defense instead of the offense, which has been so sporadic.
They're down by 9, and this has been a problem all year, not being able to put 2 halves together. Most of the time they've struggled in the second half this year, but in their last game, a kick ball against Purnell. Their last game against Gonzaga, they scored over 50 points in the second half to rally from a deficit to win it. There's a look at Purnell, who was preseason MAC All candidate.
Come on,
Down to 2:12 to go in this first half. Iona trailing 33-24. Doyle, a good open score shooter, and he hits that one.
That's the longest and most patient sequence that Iona has had. Of course, Sean Green is not in there.
First 2 points for Doyle, who's averaging about 8. He was the starting guard earlier before Joey Johnson came back. Look at that shot from Dwight Purnell. He's in double figures. He has 10. He was the MAC Player of the Week last week, along with Peter Runge of Manhattan. Crusaders leading at 35-26, a minute and a half to go here in the first half. Green with 16 seconds on the shot clock. Cooper guarded by Martzloff. 8 on the shot clock. Johnson knocked out of his hands.
Good move.
Oh, Mansburn with a beautiful move to the basket. I'm impressed by the freshman on this Holy Cross team, Jack.
Yes, they're going to have a very bright future.
Under a minute to go. And Holy Cross, which had been tied at 24, now leading 37-26. They're on a 13-2 run here as Joey Johnson is fouled.
Well, Holy Cross has stayed consistent throughout the entire half, and Iona hasn't, so it looks like Holy Cross has a spurt, but they haven't. They're just going along with their game. They work very hard on defense.
Aaron Jordan reporting in for Lauren Davis. Davis sitting down, the senior co-captain from Jacksonville, Florida. Davis has not scored in the first half. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, it'll be an interview with Jim Naris. We'll take a look at Metro Atlantic News, first half highlights, and I'll also be talking with Dr. Edward Glynn, the St. Peter's president. Johnson will get another one. Johnson has played only 4 games this year, averaging 11.5 points. Best free throw shooter on the club, about 80%. Sean Worthy will come in for Kevin Cooper. So they want to go with a pressing team here. They replace the big guy with a guard, and they'll go with 3 guards right here. 49.8 seconds. Of course, this is an NBA arena, Meadowlands Arena, so the final minute of play, they're down to 10th of seconds. Sean Green will also come back in the ball game for Joey Johnson. They trap Jordan. Makes a nice play to Walker. Martzloff spots Purnell. Nothing but net for Dwight Purnell, who shoots 61% from three-point range. He has 13 points, and that's his first three-pointer of the evening. 12-point lead for the Crusaders. See if they play for 1 here. Apparently, that's the instructions from Gary Brokaw. Doyle and Green, couple of freshmen in there right now. Under 10 seconds to go. Doyle knocked out of his hands, but a reach-in foul called against the Crusaders. And it'll be a 1-and-1. George Blaney looking to make a quick substitution. He'll put Jimmy Naris back in. Nat Martzloff committed that foul, his first. Nobody in any foul trouble for Holy Cross. The only man with 2 is Davis. And for Iona, the only man with 2 is Cooper.
I think George Blaney wanted the more experienced Naris in there in case there's a missed foul shot. He doesn't want to see Iona get an easy basket on the rebound, and Naris is a better player right now for this situation.
Doyle with 3 points, and he rolls that one in to give him 4. So it's a 10-point Holy Cross lead. Powell pulling up, counts if it goes. So that's it. First half, the Crusaders lead by 10. George Blaney heads off, and we head off for a break. We'll be right back. You're watching college basketball on Sports Channel. At halftime, Holy Cross with a 10-point lead over Iona. We've been mentioning Jim Naris, what an outstanding student-athlete he is. And earlier tonight, my colleague Jack Rohn had a chance to chat with him and find out a little bit more about this outstanding scholar-athlete.
I've often felt that a lot of colleges don't understand the responsibility of educating their athletes. Holy Cross, of course, is a fine institution, and I have their starting center with me, Jim Naris. Jim is the starting center and a pre-med, and that's quite a load. Jim, do you find that this is a difficult situation for you?
It's kind of difficult, but I've learned to adjust to it, you know, the past couple of years, and you know, it takes a little more effort where you have to you know, concentrate on both the academics and athletics, and you have to put one aside when you're concentrating on the other one and stuff like that. But you know, it hasn't been that much of a problem.
All right, you undoubtedly were recruited while you were in high school in Ohio. What was the reason for choosing Holy Cross?
I chose Holy Cross because I wanted to go to a good academic school with a good pre-med program where I could also get a scholarship. And Holy Cross has a great pre-med program, and you know, the scholarship helps out my parents a lot, especially since medical school will cost so much, and you know, that had a major thing to do with it too.
When you were considering a university, did you take into account whether or not this program would allow you the time to be pre-med?
I was concerned at first, but you know, everybody on the team at Holy Cross, you know, has a lot of studying to do and stuff like that. So I'm not the only one. So Coach Blaney understands that, and you know, before final exams and stuff like that, he gives us days off, you know, so that we have enough time to study and stuff like that. So.
You have your practice time, and then you have your classroom and your study time. Sometimes you have problems. Have you learned how to shut out those things while you concentrate on the other?
Sometimes it's hard because, you know, there's times when you only get a couple hours of sleep the night before, you know, and it's hard to come into practice and concentrate. Or if, you know, you have, you know, practice the day before a big test or something like that. But, you know, I've learned to adjust, and, you know, I've learned to shut one out, you know, while, you know, concentrating on another one.
Hypothetically, it comes to your senior year, and you now have been accepted to Harvard Medical, and you've been drafted by the Boston Celtics. Now what happens?
I'm not sure right now, but if I would decide to play, you know, professionally, it would be just for the money aspect, to get, you know, money to go to medical school. But I've always wanted to go to medical school to be a doctor, you know, and that's the first time I lived. And you know, if I'd play professionally, it'd only be for a couple of years just to get money.
All right, I think you have a very good perspective on things, and I wish you a lot of luck in tonight's game. Now back to you, Barry.
Thank you very much, Jack. And as you can see, Holy Cross with a 10-point lead at halftime. And joining me now here at halftime is Father Edward Glynn, the president of St. Peter's College. And Father Glynn, you've been at St. Peter's since 1978. I know you're pleased so far. The basketball team off to a great start.
Yes, we're off to a very good start. We're 7-3. It's interesting, tonight's game, you know, for the last 30 years, St. Peter's has won 15 games, Seton Hall 15. this will break a tie.
That game, by the way, will be seen right here on Sports Channel following our game. I know, Father Glenn, you're also very much involved in what's happening at the NCAA convention coming up on Sunday. You'll be attending that convention. There's been a proposal for from the President's Commission to limit the number of games from 28 to down to 25, and also to have the season start later December 1st. What's behind that, and what's your personal feeling?
Yes, the President's Commission is putting forth this proposal because they want to cut back on the length of season. Actually, beginning the season December 1st is not cutting the season back a great deal.
Well, what about, do you feel that it will be passed, or what's the feeling that you hear from other presidents and even presidents around the MAC conference?
I think it has an excellent chance of passing. One of my concerns is that the President's Commission really hasn't lobbied very effectively, in my judgment, with the other presidents. And that's been one of my, a way I've felt ever since the very beginning of the President's Commission. I was a charter member, and frequently on controversial proposals, rather than getting on the phone and each member of the commission calling 20 other presidents and either urging them to vote for it or persuading them to vote for it, that hasn't happened enough, and I think it'll happen more frequently in the past, in the future, if these proposals don't go through.
Father Glenn, I know the MAC is very proud of its graduation rate. I think over 95% of the seniors who play basketball have gone on to graduate, and I know you're very proud of the record at St. Peter's, too.
Yes, one of the motives for joining this particular group of schools back in when we started in 1980 was because of the emphasis on academics, the commitment to seeing that the students who participate in intercollegiate athletics also graduate. We've been able to maintain that, and we want to continue doing it.
Thank you very much, Father Edward Glenn from St. Peter's College, our guest. We'll be back with more right after this message. Back at courtside, Holy Cross Crusaders with a 10-point lead over the Iona Gaels as we get ready for the second half. Barry Landers along with Jack Rowan. And Jack, been an interesting ball game. We're watching why a lot of people feel that Holy Cross may be one of the best teams in New England. And certainly before the season's out, they remind a lot of people of the LaSalle Explorers. And speaking of the LaSalle Explorers, they're off to a great start. We'll take a look at the MAC standings right now. And first, we'll take a look at the North. And right up at the top, Siena Ball Club, who joined the league last year. Coming off the North Atlantic League, they're off to a 2-0 start at MAC play. They've got a couple of outstanding guards in Robinson and Brown, but this Holy Cross team, you have to be impressed by what you're watching tonight.
I am. I think that they're just outstandingly quick and intelligent. The team that beats them is going to be a team that plays intelligent basketball and also gets the ball inside because they're weak.
Nick McCarchuk's Fordham Club coming off a tough win over Fairfield last night, 59-56. They've had some big wins, including one over Seton Hall and another one over Boston College and also over Tennessee.
And the thing with Fordham, of course, is that they're coming into the strong part of league play with a great preseason schedule. It's going to make them tougher.
All right, let's take a look at the South Division, because in the South, of course, you've got the LaSalle Explorers. You've got St. Peter's. LaSalle hasn't played yet, of course, in league play. They're 7-0. They'll play Loyola Marymount. And, of course, they come off a big win over Temple the other day.
And LaSalle, once again, a team with a very strong group of opponents in the preseason schedule, and that's going to help them a great deal. And they've been knocking off teams, and in close games, that's important, too.
Ted Fiore's team, St. Peter's, also having a fine start of their season, and we'll be seeing them a little bit later on Sports Channel in our next telecast. Well, let's take a look at the MAC Players of the Week last week. Dwight Purnell and Peter Runge. Purnell, of course, had a tremendous playoff, actually tournament down in Florida. The Florida International had 63 points in those two games. And you like what you've seen so far tonight?
Oh, there's no doubt as to why he's capable of winning an award like that, because you see his physical ability. He's quick, he knows the game, and he's got talent.
On the other side, Peter Runge of Manhattan has helped the resurgence of the Manhattan program under Steve Lapis. They got a couple of good freshmen. Keith Bullock is one. We'll be seeing Manhattan a little bit later on, as we said.
That's right.
So those are the MAC Players of the Week for last week. We'll be back with a look at the halftime stats in just a moment. You're watching college basketball on Sports Channel. We're back here at courtside with the Holy Cross Crusaders leading the Iona Gaels 40-30 in our Metro Atlantic Conference basketball game. Opening game of 13 telecasts here on Sports Channel. Barry Landers along with Jack Rowan. And Jack, let's take a look at some of the first half highlights.
Well, one of the things that I feel is important to the success of Iona is for Cooper to become a cog. I think quite often he's shut out by his own teammates, but if they're going to be a good team, he has to be an integral part of it. He's strong. He can go to the boards. He's a fairly good player right now, but he could be a lot better.
Cooper had 3 out of 4 field goals in that first half and 3 steals.
He's got to be involved. Now, Neris is a smart play. He knows he's not physical, but here he times the ball very well, gets a hand on it, and then, you know, starts them off to the races.
Sean Green missing, and look at him come up with this rebound right here.
He's on top of things, and he knows he's not going to out-finesse people.
Now, we'll watch Aaron Jordan work the ball up court, and watch this three-pointer.
This was a zone press by Iona, and Holy Cross is fully prepared. They go to one side, they cross over, and this is how they end a fast break, with a three-point shot. Purnell had time. When he has time, he's very accurate.
All right, let's take a look at the halftime stats right here. And as you can see, Holy Cross shooting close to their average on the year, which is around 50%. Iona shooting what they shoot normally, about 40. And anything that comes to mind right there, Jack, as far as turnovers, Iona again with a large amount. Rebounds pretty even.
I think the statistic that isn't shown is bad shots. And Iona had a lot of those. And that's one of the basic differences in this game. Shots that are forced, passes that are forced. When they did settle down and play, they were very successful.
Individually, Purnell led the way with 13 points. Dickerson had 8, and Mashburn had 6 off the bench. Iona had 6 points from Sean Green, who shot only 3 for 13 from the field. Neris with Sean Green going high for the rebound. So the Gaels try to cut into that 10-point deficit.
It's important right now to see what Iona is going to attempt to do. They've had a lot of talk to, I'm sure, at halftime.
Cooper inside to Duck, who made himself available for the pass. And when you've got that kind of a body inside, you get it inside him, it's tough to get away from him, and Duck made a fine play.
What you see quite often when a team comes out of the locker room is what they are going to attempt to do, and they went right to it. They're going to go down inside. They've got physical strength.
Foul was on Powell, his second, and the first on the team. Duck pulling up for the jump shot. Second time he's hit an outside shot. And Duck with 6 points. And the lead is 8. Powell over Cooper. Nice looking effort there by the freshman. Powell averaging 7 points, has 4 in the early going. Cooper guarded by Neris. Dickerson was doubling. Can't leave Sean Green open too long, because even though he shot 3 for 13 in the first half, he's capable of shooting 10 for 13 here in the second.
Oh, I think the statistic there is Sean Green maybe 3 for 5 on good shots. And then the rest of, you know, the shots that he's forced.
Leon Dickerson answering with a bucket. He has 10. A 9-point lead for the Crusaders from Holy Cross, trying to go 9-2 and 2-0 in league play. Duck guarded by Powell. Holy Cross been mostly man-to-man. Sean Green over Leon Dickerson, and little Dwight Purnell with a rebound. Tapped away from behind by Sean Green, but he also got a piece of his arm.
And you could see as Purnell was coming up the court, he just generates speed. He doesn't look like he's running that hard, but look at the amount of people he will pass, and it's with the dribble. That's so difficult.
Green, who played at North Carolina State under former Iona coach Jim Valvano, transferred a couple of years ago. Lauren Davis for 3. Davis shoots 52% from three-point range, and with 22 trays, he has his first 3 points of the night. Sean Green nearly out of control there. Worthy over to Cooper. Boy, Cooper 4 for 5 from the field so far tonight.
When he is involved in the play, he's a factor. But if you keep him out of it by not passing it to him, then you're never going to find out.
This is a guy that can stick it from downtown, and Neris puts it up from 20 feet out. He gets it for 3. And the lead is 13, largest of the night. Neris with 9. And as Sean Worthy went baseline, ball knocked out of bounds. A lot of contact there, but the official Jim Howell did not call a foul. Sean Green was wide open, and we may pick it up here, and they never got the ball in, as you can see.
Right, this has happened quite often.
Joey Johnson for 3. Battle inside. It'll be white ball, says Jim Howell. Well, Iona retaining possession, trailing by 13. This is the biggest deficit they've faced all night. George Blaney's club lost only twice this year, to Providence on the road and to Texas A&M by 3 on the road. And they come up with a turnover. Iona's committed 17 turnovers so far. This time Holy Cross turns it over, and Sean Green on his hip gets fouled by Lauren Davis. It'll be his third. And Green committed, had the foul committed against, a non-shooting foul. It's the first on the team, and Aaron Jordan, number 24, will report in the ball game for Lauren Davis.
When Iona came out to start this half offensively, they moved the ball around and tried to get the ball in close. And this was obviously what they had been told at halftime. That's the last time they've looked for it, except the one pass to Cooper.
Now they seem to be rushing. Oh, that was telegraphed, but Worthy came up with it, or rather, Green came up with it. Pulling up. Sean Green, who has a tremendous elevation on his jump shot, makes it 50-39. Green with 11. Powell doesn't play like a freshman. Powell plays like a much more experienced player. It'll still be Crusader ball. They lead by 11. Holy Cross has played only 3 home games this year. They'll be home for 5 of their next 6 games. Now, unselfishly passing it off. Powell, look at that nice play.
This was a sequence of the old Knickerbocker adage of one more pass back in the days of Bill Bradley and Barnett and those players. But great teamwork.
You remember it well, Jack Rowan. You were coaching at Columbia at that time. And you had some great players of your own, like Jim McMillan and a couple of other great guys. Sean Green again launching a 3-point effort. And Harris gets the rebound. Down court, Leon Dickerson gets the easy 2. And Holy Cross with its biggest lead, a 15-point edge, with just under 4 minutes gone here in the second half. And now timeout taken by Gary Brokaw. We've got a break in the action right now. The Crusaders with a big lead. We'll be right back.
High school coaches and players, just take this tape and play it again and again. This is the ultimate teamwork. Draw the defense, go 1 pass ahead. That was 4 passes to the easy layup. That's great teamwork, and it's something that everybody should learn.
You sound like you're ready to come back and coach, Jack, after you see plays like that. And you haven't coached for 15 years.
Yeah, but if I had players like that, I might want to coach again.
Well, you had some great players, as I mentioned, Jim McMillan, Hayward Dotson, Dave Newmark. You went to the NCAA that year. What was it, 67, 68?
Yeah.
Right now, Iona in trouble. They trail by 15. A lot of time left. They got off to a very shaky start, remember, at the beginning of this ball game, but came back 3 times to tie it in the first half. Worthy tripped up. It'll be a non-shooting foul. It'll be the 3rd on Holy Cross and the 2nd on Powell. Second is going to go to Dickerson. That'll be his 2nd. Gary Brokaw does not look happy right now.
Well, if you could look into his mind right now, you would find out how close his team is to doing what he wants them to do.
Worthy will get another one. He's averaging 5.5 points a game. There's Jim Bostic to his right, who coached Kevin Cooper in high school, former New Rochelle High School coach. Worthy looking for point number 5. And he's got that one. 55% free throw shooter. Aaron Jordan will bring it across. Relieving Dwight Purnell of the point guard duties here. It's an aspect of his game that he has shown a lot of people this year, that he can play the point as well as not affect his scoring. Jordan, strong drive.
Excellent move. Very, very strong finish that time. He got up high and he didn't let the big man coming bother him at all.
Worthy back out. Johnson for 3. Dickerson with the rebound. Holy Cross on the verge of blowing this one wide open. Purnell. Cooper. Oh, look at Purnell hustle to nearly steal that one away. He's an all-around player, Dwight Purnell, not just an offensive machine.
No, not at all, and he plays hard all the time.
Jeremy Green checking in, number 22. Jonathan Duck will sit down. So they go with a smaller club right now, Worthy and Green, and Joey Johnson. Johnson playing as a small forward right now, replacing Jonathan Duck. Very versatile player, Joey Johnson. Cooper. And count the basket. He was fouled. So we're seeing the emergence of Kevin Cooper here, something that Gary Brokaw is pleased about, even if he's not pleased with the score, with this club down by 15.
Yeah, I mean, when he gets the basketball, he does something. Here, he takes it right to the basket. I think some people might have felt it was a charge, but that doesn't matter. He made the play. You know, I saw him in his first college game last year at the Great Alaska Shootout against Kentucky, and everybody was sitting there saying, who is this freshman? He looked great.
Cooper has had moments this year, and certainly last year. Misses the free throw. He's got 10 points. That's his high for the year. Scored 10 in the opening game against Northern Illinois. Iona down by 13. A little more aggressive on the defense now as they go into a man-to-man. Marchloff. Powell in the lane. Marchloff will go strong to the hoop. So Scott Marchloff showing a very strong move out of Rochester, upstate New York, McQuaid High School.
And Holy Cross continues to exhibit that really excellent defense, teamwork. Through the play, and Marchloff goes very hard to the basket. I think what he should have done there in the crowd is just lay it off the backboard.
Marchloff looking for point number 3. And he's got it. Holy Cross shoots 70% from the line. 52.4 from the field. So, as you have heard throughout the evening, they're an excellent shooting club. Joey Johnson with the rebound. Crusaders leading by 14. Last year, Holy Cross lost 2 out of 3 to Iona, including a 123-113 game. Sean Green fouled on the drive. Last time these two clubs played was in the playoffs last year, and Iona won that one. Here's a look at Sean Green, who grew up in Long Island City, but played his high school ball at Oak Hill Academy. They've had some great players over the years.
They certainly have, and they're scattered around the country as in starring roles on various college teams. Green has got a tremendous amount of ability. The whole problem right now is judgment, much more than intention. He plays hard, he does a lot of good things, but he makes a lot of mental errors.
Last foul was on Dickerson. Holy Cross with 5 team fouls. Crusaders still with a big 13-point lead. 13:54 to go. A lot of time left. Cooper knocked it away. Purnell, boy, is he quick. Marchloff back up. And he's making good use of his minutes.
Marchloff is quick also for a man that size, and so is Naris. There may come a time where George is going to be able to use both big players in the game at the same time and not feel the effects of it.
Interesting point. He had mono last year, played in only 14 games, so did not get a whole lot of time last year. This club was beset by injuries and illness. This Holy Cross team, they got off to a good start last year as well, 6-1, but fell apart with all the injuries. Jeremy Green throws it away right into the hands of Frank Powell. Up court, Aaron Jordan. Blocked by Joey Johnson. Here's Sean Worthy. Getting a little wild out here, folks. Sean Green knocked it away. Look at this action. Bodies flying all over the court here. Thought we have the New Jersey Devils playing maybe here.
It was a moment when things are out of control, but what you do see once again is the intelligence of the Holy Cross team on some of these steals, where they go anticipating the pass and go right to it. Iona takes the ball away with good strength on a couple of occasions.
Jeremy Green finally called for the foul. He looks up and says, not me. Well, of course,
No.
his dad was the football coach.
Yes.
So he's used to that physical play.
That's right. It's a tough call. He was diving for the basketball.
That's another good freshman, Billy Walker, in the game. This could have been the best recruiting class for George Blaney in a long time, as Walker is fouled.
taking a look at those field goal percentages. Wow, what a difference.
Shot selection.
Holy Cross is capable of shooting 75%. They remind a lot of people of LaSalle of a couple of years ago because they were great perimeter shooters. They ran the court well. They came up with steals. They had a very quick backcourt. And what are your impressions of watching Holy Cross compared to LaSalle of a couple of years ago?
Well, I can see the similarity. I just feel that Holy Cross is an excellent team, but the next step beyond that would be strength. And this is going to be their downfall in the games that they do lose.
Kevin Cooper sits down with 10 points, and Jonathan Duck replaces him in the lineup. Walker can't get that one to drop in. Walker had 11 points against Harvard earlier this year, his season high. Danny Doyle in the game to Jonathan Duck. Duck gets good position inside and banks it home to make it 59-46. 8 points for Duck. That's a point below his average on the year. Duck had a high of 23 against St. Mary's. Doyle playing against George. Dickerson, a foul away from the ball. It's on Naris. A little pushing and shoving going on, and the pre-med student. You had a good time interviewing him. What a nice young man this Jimmy Naris is.
He has a great deal of maturity, too. He's very determined to become a doctor. And everything that he's done so far is pointing in that direction. So I hope he does make it.
First foul. Of course, Holy Cross has a tremendous list of alumni, not only in sports like Bob Cousy, but in certain other fields as well. Harris guarded closely by Duck, pulling up. Oh, look at the contact inside, and as Powell hit the deck, we had a foul called. It's against Iona.
Naris once again goes to the shot that he likes best, and that's the jumper.
We've got a stoppage in play. 11:43 to go. Second half. The Crusaders with a good lead. We'll be right back. Coming up next, it's Game 2 of Sports Channel's basketball doubleheader featuring the Seton Hall Pirates against the St. Peter's Peacocks. That's Seton Hall versus St. Peter's. Immediately following the conclusion of this game, live and exclusive, right here on Sports Channel. Holy Cross with the ball and a 13-point lead. Barry Landers and Jack Rowan back here at the Meadowlands. And all Holy Cross here in the second half, and they've done it, Jack, without Dwight Purnell scoring a point. They've scored 19 points. He hasn't scored any, and they've opened up the big lead.
That's right, because they have a well-balanced attack, and they think things out, and if the shots come to someone else, those people are capable of putting the ball in.
On the other hand, Iona has scored 16 points here in the second half. Sean Green has 12 of them. They're not getting offense from anyone else. Now, Holy Cross showing some patience here. They're down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Walker with 4, pulling up. Beautiful looking shot from the freshman.
He's got an excellent jump shot move off the dribble.
Young man recruited out of Michigan. He has 5 points. Sean Green using the left hand. Sean Green has 14 points here in the second half. He shot 3 for 13 in the first half. Nice ball movement. As we said, George Blaney really loves the chemistry on this team. He likes the energy that the team emits in practice. Leon Dickerson wide open as they work the ball around nicely.
They are taking the skin off of Iona right now with the way they're operating.
14 points for Dickerson. Sean Worthy back up, blocked by Naris. Sean Green, who has been red hot here in the second half after being ice cold in the first half with the points.
I think what George Blaney right now does not want is an exchange of points because of the physical strength that Iona has. They could at any time become a dominant part of the game.
They're still in this one, down by 13 with 9:40 to go. A lot of time left. Naris. They wanted a walk, but they didn't get it.
And he did not move the pivot foot.
Naris with 13 points. That's a point above his average.
Holy Cross using this 2-3 zone right now.
And in the ball game for the first time is freshman Marvin Goodwine out of Lakewood, New Jersey. Number 20. Dickerson pulling up. He's been hot here in the second half. And Green using that 40-inch vertical leap. Jordan knocked it away. Boy, they opportunists, this Holy Cross team.
They're quick. They anticipate the outlet pass, and they've gotten steals because they know where to be.
Dickerson, who had a high of 19 against Harvard with 16 so far. All 5 starters for Holy Cross are in double figures on the season. It shows you the balance they have. And they average close to 90 points a game. Sean Green. Duck wrestled it away from Frank Powell, and the foul will be on Powell before the shot.
We've talked about the fact that Holy Cross plays very, very aggressive and good defense.
4 substitutions coming in right now for Holy Cross. George Blaney giving a lot of playing time to his reserves. Scott Marsloff comes back in. Dwight Purnell, who has not scored here in the second half, is back in the game. And let's see who else has come in for Holy Cross. Lauren Davis back in as we watch Jonathan Duck at the line.
To continue, they do play, outstanding defense. So the question is, well, why do teams get so many points? Part of it is because Holy Cross scores so much. The other team is constantly getting the ball for nothing. It's gone through the net. They don't even have to work to get it.
They've given up 80 points a game. Duck makes 1 of 2. But they've held their opponents to less than 40% from the floor in shooting in 6 of their 10 games.
Yes, they do score. They're also going to get beaten up by big teams underneath. But basically, they do play good defense.
Lauren Davis with a second three-pointer. He has a pair of trays, 6 points on the night. Averaging 13. He's the second leading scorer on this club. He's got unlimited range. Joey Johnson, who had 6 turnovers in the first half, number 21, working in the backcourt right now with freshman Danny Doyle. Marvin Goodwine. Oh, look at the nice play by Martzloff as he read the play beautifully. White Purnell looking for his first second half points, knocked away. Worthy couldn't control it. Look at Purnell hustle back, goes skying to the floor. Up court, they missed the shot. And Holy Cross pulls the rebound down. Boy, Rick Mashburn, you gotta like Mashburn. You gotta like Walker. Martzloff is a sophomore. Powell's a freshman. Mashburn going hard. He'll follow it up with a little hook. And finally, Joey Johnson able to get the rebound. Danny Doyle. I'll tell you, we've had more contact here than in a football game. They're going to play a football game at the Meadowlands here on Sunday. We've got time out on the floor. We'll be right back. Holy Cross by 19. Watch the action in this football scrimmage right here as Marvin Goodwine brings it up.
You have a big, strong, crashing into Purnell, who at one time weighed 135. Doesn't look like he weighs a heck of a lot more than that. He stood there. He gets a Courage Award.
Danny Doyle, number 25, going hard. And look at Martzloff looking for the block. You know,
Holy Cross for a walk. So Purnell knew it was a walk. He should have gotten his body out of there.
Holy Cross has had one of the best 1AA football teams. There's a look at the monitors. Look at the second half. And turnovers have really been a big problem for Iona. 22 so far. Holy Cross is only 13. I was going to say, Jack, Holy Cross has got a great 1AA football program. And looks like getting a little football out here, but that's a beautiful shot by Dwight Purnell. He has 15 first points in the second half for Purnell. Joey Johnson launching one. Sean Green off balance. Cooper back up and in. 12 points for Cooper, a season high. Doyle off the turnover.
These two have met before.
Danny Doyle is one tough freshman from Long Island. He will challenge anybody.
Well, that time he had the angle, so he was able to go to the basket, and Purnell did foul him.
You know,
Barry, what Purnell showed on the last sequence up the other end, too, is the fact that he has outstanding one-on-one ability, which means that in those games that are a 1 or a 2-point game down near the end, he is the type of person you can go to for the big play.
Aaron Jordan back in the game, replacing Lauren Davis. The MAC, or the Metro Atlantic Conference, is really blessed with outstanding guard play. They may not have the big people, especially the power forwards or the centers, but you look around the league, and certainly the last couple of years, and people like Willie Haynes and Dwight Purnell and others, Dougie Overton down at LaSalle, they've got great guards in this league.
And you would think that guards would be easy to find because most of the people in the world are guard size when you go out to recruit, but sometimes that's the difference between some of these teams being in the top 20 and not being there.
MAC players or Metro Atlantic players 6 foot, 6'1", like this little guy, Purnell. Dickerson misses, but he was hammered as he went up for the rebound. 6:05 to go. Kevin Cooper, who's played his best game of the year, commits the foul.
I don't think there are very many people who can stay with Purnell one-on-one. The only way you're going to have an effective night against him defensively is if you can get great help coming off other players to help on Purnell.
4th foul on Kevin Cooper. Dickerson will get another one. 61% shooter from the free throw line. Had a fine ball game, Dickerson, with 16 points. Martzloff with a nice tap back out to Purnell here. And Purnell with 2 second-half buckets with 17, 5 below his season average. Holy Cross with a 19-point lead. This equals their biggest lead of the night. Joey Johnson trying to go backdoor to Danny Doyle, but quick hands. Look at Martzloff bring it up. Oh, Purnell hit on the arm as he tried to come up with it. Who's this remind you of as we'll watch Martzloff bring it up?
I don't know who it reminds me of, but I'll tell you one thing, he can do a pretty good job with it. And there was a side action here that we don't see on the camera, and that is that after he bobbled it and perhaps could have gotten a little discouraged, George Blaney encouraged him. George has been very, very gentle with these freshmen. No, and that's a very important point. You can destroy them mentally if you don't know how to handle each person.
Junior captain Sean Worthy, number 32, back at Iona. Iona does not have any seniors on this team, so it is a pretty young Iona team as well. Purnell, as we saw earlier, a 91% free throw shooter, will get another one. Started 67 straight games. Was 4th in the MAC last year in scoring at 19.5, and watching an example of his free throw shooting tonight. He's improved his shooting range in the course of his play here. Improved his overall game as we've seen tonight. 76-55, 21-point lead for the Crusaders, who led by 10 at the half. Goodwine trapped. Jordan knocked it away, but whose foot did they say it went off of? It'll be Iona ball. Again, that trap has proved effective for Holy Cross.
They're very quick, and they reach for the basketball, and they take the chance that they may pick up the foul, but, you know, 1 out of 10 they might get called.
Purnell and Green, who came in tied for 2nd place in the Metro Atlantic in scoring race with 22.4, pretty close in their scoring. Out of bounds, and the ball will turn over here. So despite the absence of one of their key players, Earl Wheaton, Holy Cross doesn't seem to miss him.
George Blaney felt that Wheaton would be very sorely missed because he's their one strong bruiser, and that's what Iona tried to do in the beginning, go inside, but they didn't stay with it.
Back outside to Aaron Jordan. Purnell over the freshman, Goodwine. And Mashburn again getting good position inside is fouled. So Ricky Mashburn, another Michigander. He and Billy Walker recruited for Michigan. One of the things that's interesting about Holy Cross is that they recruit nationally. They have the prestige as a fine academic institution.
That's the reason. They can do that. Holy Cross is one of the colleges throughout the nation that will attract students from all over, regardless of their athletic ability.
You saw the smile on Scott Martzloff's face as he sat down, getting a lot of playing time tonight. Richie Mashburn will get another one. Well, Mashburn, they say, can do it all. He can catch, pass, rebound, run, and shoot. Needs to get a little stronger, as do most of these Holy Cross players. A little time in the weight room, as you said earlier, Jack.
That's right. They need some strengthening. One thing I think that's excellent for them at this particular point in time, though, Barry, is the fact that they are able to work with an experienced club. They're getting very positive experience right now.
Mashburn sat down, and Powell, another freshman, replaces him. Cooper called for the foul, and he doesn't like it. He's out of the ball game right now, as he had a very pained look on his face. Big young man who has a lot of potential. 6'10". He was on the MAC all-rookie team last year, and he fouls out of the ball game. But he has been one of the bright notes in what has been a disappointing evening so far for Iona, Jack. Kevin,
he has. He and Duck, each time they've received the basketball, on most occasions something positive has happened, just that they haven't gotten the ball that often.
So Cooper will sit down. He has fouled out of 3 games this year. Fouls out with 12 points, a season high.
The way that Holy Cross swarms and all over you, they're a smaller and obviously a thinner rendition of the Georgetown style of basketball, and that is there are times where Iona must think there are about 7 or 8 Holy Cross players out there.
Leon Dickinson looking for point number 18, and he's got it. He's improved his free throw shooting tonight. Played at Cardinal Gibbons High School in Baltimore. That's where Quentin Daly played his high school basketball. Danny Doyle. Savage trying to go up, and he stripped of the ball and was fouled. Oh, he should get a couple of free throws. Holy Cross has used everybody on the bench pretty much tonight. George Blaney looking for win number 269 with Holy Cross. He's one of just 43 active coaches to win 300 or more games in his career, Jack. He's been around a long time, 23 years.
I think that's a remarkable achievement because a couple of those years were also at Dartmouth, another very outstanding school academically. And George is not able to recruit every single good basketball player. He has to be very selective because of the standards at Holy Cross.
Iona down 79-55. Doyle's laying it off the glass, and he was fouled. Don't forget, after this telecast, you'll be watching another fine Metro Atlantic basketball team, St. Peter's, taking on Seton Hall. Game coming up right here on Sports Channel. And our next Metro Atlantic basketball telecast will be next week from the Meadowlands, when Manhattan will play the St. Peter's Ball Club. Fouling out of the ball game right now, or check it, going out of the ball game right now with 4 fouls, Leon Dickerson. And at the line is Danny Doyle. He'll get another one.
You know, I've seen situations where a team was having a difficult time the way Iona is right now, and then all of a sudden they're out there one night and they start to put it together, and then they understand why that works, and then they stay with it, and then you have a different team.
We're down to 4:18 to go. It's been all Holy Cross in this game. Purnell. Jordan tipping it. Worthy ran into a man. Doyle pulling up for the jump shot. Worthy. And Aaron Jordan finally pulls it down for Holy Cross. So the Iona shooting percentage here in the second half has been horrendous. Trail by 24. Usually the games between these two schools have been very close over the years. Iona leads the series 14-12.
And Holy Cross keeps working their plays the way they are practicing them every day, regardless of the score.
Oh, look at George spot Powell, knocked out of his hands by Sean Green. We've got Tom out on the floor with the Crusaders rolling over Iona. We'll be right back.
See the following sequence, and you see how much the Iona players miss these shots, then you realize that we're not talking about physical, we're talking about mental problems out there. They've lost their confidence. They have no concept of what's going on in their own minds out there right now in relation to themselves. They've lost everything.
Rick Mashburn coming up with that ball, and as he gets it over to Kevin Kerwin, who's in the game for the first time, Kerwin is fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot a couple of free throws. John Savage committing the foul. Both teams have substituted liberally here. Billy Regan in the game, a walk-on, number 14 for the Iona Gaels, also in there. And down to 3:24 to go, and Kevin Kerwin will shoot. He's a good shooter. Has not had much playing time. Who isn't a good shooter on this team?
Well, you know, for defensive Iona to some extent, as a coach, I've been involved in games like this where you look out on the floor and you say, who are those strange people out there? I know the faces, but I've never seen them play that way before. You'd like to take them downstairs, give them a good hot shower, and bring them back up again.
Regan swings it out to Johnson. That's Doyle. Sean Green, who has 16 points and 9 rebounds. And the rebound pulled down by the good-looking freshman over there, Rick Mashburn, who has 8 rebounds and 7 points off the bench. Going to hear that name often in the next 4 years. Kerwin. Back out to Jordan. Holy Cross averages close to 89, and they've got 81 right now with about 2:45 to go. They usually give up 80 points. They've given up only 55 today. Oh, nice-looking drive by Aaron Jordan. He just doesn't get a whole lot of playing time with Dwight Purnell in there.
No, but he can move to the basket, and he's very strong once he's in the air.
4 points for Jordan. Martzloff coming up with the turnover. And the Crusaders going to improve their record to 9-2. Plays like that, Kevin Kerwin with 4 points. 30-point lead right now. Well, his record will drop to 5-7. Martzloff with another rebound. Boy, he gets good position, doesn't he?
He certainly does. You know, it makes me think of the Dave DeBusschere-style basketball player.
Iona, as you see, held scoreless for the last 4 minutes. And Gary Brokaw going to talk things over as he looks up and sees his club down by 30 points. And this has happened to Iona throughout the year. They've had scoring droughts. They just haven't been able to generate consistent offense. They're averaging only 59 points a game. Well, coming up next, it's Game 2 of Sports Channel's basketball doubleheader, featuring the Seton Hall Pirates, who come off a Big East win earlier this week against the St. Peter's Peacocks. That's Seton Hall versus St. Peter's, immediately following the conclusion of this game, live and exclusive, right here on Sports Channel. Don't forget, you'll see St. Peter's next week against Manhattan in our Metro Atlantic Game of the Week telecast. Martzloff over Savage.
He does some nice things, and I'm sure as soon as he gets to be strong enough to play a lot, he's going to be a real factor.
7 points for Martzloff. Regan from the baseline. Goodwine. Kerwin comes up with it with 1:28 to go. Holy Cross leading by 32. Open for the jumper, Walker. Here's Goodwine pushing it up. Freshman from nearby Lakewood, New Jersey. Jeremy Green worked hard for that shot. And we'll get another timeout taken by Iona right here. Down by 30. What's the purpose of calling a timeout right here?
I don't think that that's the coach's decision. I think the players are doing it, and it's almost instinctive. They are trying to keep it close, but, you know, it's ridiculous at this point in time.
Gary Brokaw, who was an assistant under Digger Phelps. Holy Cross had run off 15 points in a row until Jeremy Green scored, and they went over 5 minutes. Iona without a point. This is against the reserves, no less, of Holy Cross. Martzloff still diving for the ball. Goodwine came up with it. Under a minute to go. Regan pulling up. Savage missing. Regan with a couple of fakes rejected by Martzloff. Jeremy Green. That's been typical of what's happened to Iona here. They just can't get a basket.
No, they're rushing their shots. You know, you might even wonder, what does the coach look for in a situation like this? Well, in Gary Brokaw's case right now, what he would like to see from these substitutes that are on the floor is some good basketball. Something to talk about the next time they practice. Something to look for that's positive, because if you're going to point out all the negative things that happened tonight, this team is going to just continue to lose confidence.
Goodwine will get another free throw. Purnell has led the scoring for Holy Cross with 19, Dickerson with 18, Naris with 13, Sean Green with 16, and Kevin Cooper with 12 to lead the Gaels. under 4 seconds left as they scramble on the floor. Ball goes out of bounds.
Harry, the thing that's been impressive about Holy Cross with the substitutes is that they have continued to run the things the same way the first team did. They're not quite as good, but they continue to, it's not garbage time for them. They're working as a team.
Down to 30 seconds to go. Holy Cross will host Fairfield in its next game on Tuesday night. Iona will host Canisius next Thursday in their next game. 3-point effort. Joey Johnson with his second 3-pointer. He has 8 points on the night. And at least Iona is over the hurdle of 59 points, which they normally average. So they've gotten to 60, but they've been blown out here. And hitting the shot from the corner, Marcus. And it's 89-60. Off that miss, this one will end as Martzloff pulls it down, and George Blaney. And the Holy Cross Crusaders have beaten Gary Brokaw and the Iona Gaels 89-60. We'll be right back with our post-game wrap-up right after this. Back at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena, the Holy Cross Crusaders off to their best start since 1977-78. Jack Rowan win it decisively, and of course the final score 89-60. What can you say? Holy Cross just doing it just about perfectly tonight.
Yeah, they were able to play the game that they were hoping for, and of course they played it well, and that's really the whole story of the game. They were quick and effective.
Now, on the other side, the Iona Gaels had their problems, and you watched Holy Cross tonight, and you saw the kind of picture-perfect passing that we'll see on our Minolta shot of the game coming up right now.
That's right, and this is a great choice because it's not a spectacular shot. It's a spectacular amount of teamwork. Each player who had a shot passed off to his teammate for a better shot, where you ultimately wind up with a layup. And as I said before, this should be a highlight that should be shown to all high school basketball players.
So once again, the final score, the Holy Cross Crusaders 89 and the Iona Gaels 60. Remember, tomorrow afternoon at 3, it's more college hoop action when Columbia takes on Hofstra. Metro Atlantic basketball is back on Sports Channel next Saturday at 9 when the Manhattan Jaspers battle the St. Peter's team. Coming up right after the P.J. Carlissimo Show is given number 2 of Sports Channel's basketball doubleheader, featuring the Seton Hall Pirates against St. Peter's. This is Barry Landers for Jack Rowan saying so long for now, and thanks for watching Metro Atlantic basketball on Sports Channel.